Hello and welcome to Front Row Racing. It's Friday evening, which means it's time for the Front Row Racing FRR-idays Cup Round 16 at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. And as we all should know, that's in the good old United States of America. I'm Front Row Racing DP. I'll be doing commentary this evening. I'll be joined in the commentary booth by Front Row Racing RI. And I know I've just asked you this, Ray, but for the benefit of the viewers, how are you this evening?
I'm very well.
You liar.
Very well.
I was going to say, that is not what you said about you. Said, I'm knackered. but yeah, no. I think we both are today. Maybe it's just something in the air. I don't know. Either that it's Friday night, and we both probably just need a hell of a lot more sleep than what we have been getting. Okay. Bit of info for the viewers and the drivers. The FRR-idays Cup is the feeder series into our F1 leagues. This is where the drivers come and ply their trade. Race clean, race fair. They go onto the reserve driver list for the Front Row Racing World Championship. That's the No Assist League. And the World Series, the Assist Allowed League. A few of the drivers have had reserve drives this week as well. Just to point out that it does work. Basically, if a league driver needs a reserve, as long as they let the league know, at least by the day before the event, they can then call upon one of the drivers on the reserve list to take their place. Those drivers will score points for the team, but not for themselves because they are there as a reserve. And yeah, it's a process that's been working quite well. Now, something we put in place for last week, and we've done it again this week, is the order of invitation into the lobby. And that is that those drivers who didn't make it in last week got first invite in. Then those drivers who raced and didn't get disqualified got next invites in. And then those drivers, new drivers get invites in. And then those drivers that were disqualified get invites if there are places. Now, I do know quite a few when the invites were sent out, so if they have missed out on a place, that is unfortunate for them. But we will work on something for next season to try and satisfy as many people as we can. The drivers that we have got in this evening, we've got RMS Maranello, who had a reserve drive as my teammate on Wednesday in the World Championship. Was doing very well, so it would be interesting to see how he gets on around America here this evening. In the Mercedes with him is Shane JDM. He's in for his first race. Mr. Hamilton 44 in the Red Bull alongside Will Butler, and then in the Williams we have John 94 Rhinos and Azamort 590. In the Ferrari, we've got F1 Roadrunner, who's been a little bit lucky because he did get disqualified last week, but there was a space available, so he's managed to squeeze in. A hard Danny for the McLaren Honda. He also has been lucky, received a disqualification last week, so he'll be looking to try and get to the end of the race this week. In the Force India, sorry, commentary might be bad this evening. In the Force India, Lefty Hardtail and RDB. RDB also had a reserve drive last night in the World Series. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on this evening. In the Toro Rosso, we've got that guy Myron, one of the newer drivers. In the Lotus, we have Boran at C2709 and Pro Exotic J, who was a new driver last week. We got disconnected part way through qualifying. And then in the Sauber, we have Drew 871105. Okay, what time have we got, Ray? You like to keep an eye on the clock at this point to see if I've gone over budget?
No, you'll still get a minute to go. Keep going.
What should we talk about?
That's half past.
Okay, let's go. That'll do. I tell you what, the Circuit of the Americas, it's a very interesting racetrack, and quite a few people know that I've said before, it is a much better racetrack driven in the wrong direction. I'd never advise people do it in a race, but go on time trial and drive it in the opposite direction. It is a fantastic racetrack that way. Whereas the way that we drive it, it's a little bit of an evil one, really. Now, a little bit of information about it. First Grand Prix here was in 2012, and the number of laps for the drivers this evening, it's a 25% race. So, off the top of my head, Let's see, we're going to be looking at about 14-15 laps, I think it'll be. Circuit length is 5.5 kilometres, and the lap record is held by Sebastian Vettel from 2012 with a 1:39.347. And Ray, you know what? For the last 2 days you wanted rain in the events. We didn't get it. Do you reckon we're going to get it all come down here?
Nah, I don't think it'll happen here.
I reckon it. I've got a feeling it will. It shouldn't, but then you look at last year. I'm fairly sure it was last year in the real F1 here. It really did rain really hard on the approaching days to the event, and I'm right. It is raining.
I was cussing it. I wanted it to stop.
You wanted it. Are you sure you've not just set it to wet weather? Now I've said that.
Not dynamic.
So now I've said that, you'll have all the drivers going, he set it to wet. No, he didn't. We checked. Okay, tell us about the weather forecast then, Ray.
Showers possible throughout, but it's in Scotland we call it
A sunny day.
peanut down.
I'd have gone with the sunny day. It says in 45 minutes it's going to warm up and stop raining. I think by then the event will be over. Okay, quite a few cars making their way out onto circuit at the moment. I'm currently on board with Pro Exotic J. Now, a few of the drivers may have practiced in wet conditions. Some of them may not have done. Hopefully they've all worked a little bit on setup, and this circuit is quite a tricky one with what you do for your setup. Oh, I don't know where Pro Exotic J is going there, but maybe we're having a bit of a visual difference. Yeah, I mean, Sector 1, you need bags and bags of grip. Whoa. And I think in Sector 1, Pro Exotic J needs a slightly different piece of tarmac. He might just be struggling there. He definitely is struggling, I would say. I tell you what, Ray, you keep an eye on that one, and I'll go and find someone that is facing the right direction a little more, shall we say.
Yeah, I'll just say to the YouTube people, I love yous too.
Oh, have you got a fan, Ray? Have you got a fan?
We love you, Rachel. We love you, Rachel. We love you, Rachel Brooks. Yes, we do.
Somebody has obviously had a few too many drinks this evening. It wouldn't be someone with a name ending GP, would it?
Nah, it's
no,
not
well, it's not him. So I'm going to say you've got a real fan now. Yeah, I was talking about setup. I mean, around here, you want grip in Sector 1. You don't need a lot in Sector 2, and in Sector 3, you want sort of high speed. It's a very tricky one, but when the wet weather comes as it has here for the drivers, it does make it even more difficult, because the temptation a lot of the time is just go, right, I'll put my dry setup on and see how we get on. Sometimes you can get away with it, other times not so much, because the wet weather, it affects the air temperature, the track temperature, and simply the level of grip you've got on the circuit. So you may need a little bit more aerodynamics, or a softer suspension, or perhaps even stiffer suspension. You can also find that too much camber might not work, but anyway, there we go.
Sorry, Brian.
It's alright, crack on.
I think Pro Exotic J is new to this actual game.
Do you think he's really, really struggling there? Do you think it might be a track that he doesn't know?
No, even down the straight, his rear end's either left or right. It's not straight. I don't think it's lag. It's not showing his lag, but he is sliding it about. I don't think he's played this game much.
Well, quite possibly.
He'd say that, and then he says, I've been playing it for
yeah, I've been playing it for 15 years. What are you on about? He might just be trying to warm up his tyres. Now, I've got to admit, I forgot to make a copy of a few of the drivers' pre-race comments. There wasn't many of them today. I don't know if you have got pre-race comments there, Ray?
The ones you send on Facebook? Or
yep, those ones.
Yep. We've got Will Butler. After a recent review of previous performance, I have concluded that the lack of speed was due to having an automatic gearbox. I've recently tested with manual gears and have managed to shave off 2 seconds off the lap time at Austin. this today will be my first race with manual gears.
Well,
So well done.
Yeah, definite well done, but he may be a little bit disappointed. Danny's just gone pole position. So let's go and see how Will Butler is doing. I think he's just started a flying lap. So he's on manual gears for the first time, or first time in a race. And he's got to deal with the difficulty of a mildly moist track, shall we say. So who else's comments do we have there, Ray?
We have Mr. Hamilton. I haven't been racing the last couple of Fridays. Should be good to be back. Austin isn't a favourite of mine. I struggle with setup around here, but as a track we can overtake on. Quite a lot of people don't like this track.
It's kind of understandable in a way that many people don't like it. I mean, turn one's an interesting corner, but it's very easy to go off there. And then the whole of that first sector, if your setup or your rhythm is wrong, you're off track all the time. Oh, Will's taken a slightly too early an entry into the corner. He's had to pull out of it and go again. Maybe dropped it down a gear too soon there, and that can happen. You go down a gear too soon, it kicks the rear out, and in towards the corner you go. But yeah, I mean, Sector 1, out of a lot of the tracks that we go to this season, this is one where we could see a number of drivers disqualified for exceeding track limits through Sector 1, because it's a bit like Suzuka Sector 1, where if you get the first corner wrong, you'll get the 7th corner wrong. And here, it's like if you get the first one wrong, you get the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th wrong. And I've heard you just go, oh. So Ray's obviously just spotted something a bit dodgy as Will Butler goes 4th place.
Yeah, I'm still on Pro Exotic J17. I think he needs more practice before he's racing around with people.
Well, we'll see. Excuse me, my e-cig's just got a bit burny. Well, we'll see how he gets on. I mean, we do like to give people an opportunity. We have said all along that this is a place for drivers to come and learn and see what the competition is. I mean, it's very easy at times to sit there and watch some of the league races and go, I could do that, I could beat them easy. But actually coming and doing it is not always that easy. RMS Maranello just finishing a flying lap and takes pole position with a 1:45.922, so he's feeling fairly comfortable on the intermediate tyres at the moment. Let's see if he improves on his Sector 1 time. I'll tell you what, Ray, have a look at Mr. Hamilton 44 if he's on track, because he was previous pole position. And I'll tell you what, RMS Maranello, sorry, he's got a very nice rhythm through Sector 1, but he's made a little bit of a mess of it on the way into Sector 2.
Yeah, he's not on track just now, but I'm watching Shane JDM.
JDM, okay, we'll call him Shane. Currently sat in 7th place. So, what have you spotted while watching Shane?
At the moment, he's doing okay. He's keeping it within the limits. He's not having too much on oversteer at the moment.
No, you're right. He just clipped a curb and it sent him a little bit airborne, though. Or at least it did on him. Yeah, I'm watching Shane. Yeah, it must be a visual effect. And I mean, I'll say this to the viewers as well. Sometimes you may see from our view the cars being off track. That's not always the case with the driver. It's why in the league races, it is one of the entry requirements that the drivers do record their qualifying session and race. It helps with a number of things, dealing with incidents, crashes, exceeding track limits, the ability to appeal dodgy yellow flag illegal overtakes, and so on. So we may see someone look like they could a corner, and if their qualifying lap has not been invalidated, it is possible that on their view they haven't, or they found out a way to get away with it. Into the final corner then Shane goes. Oh, and he's just had his lap invalidated there on the final corner. Be a bit disappointed about that one. It was a 150, so a little bit of time to find to try and fight up at the front. Mr. Hamilton 44 is on an out lap, and it sounds like he's got his gearbox stuck in about third gear, but he's doing 180 mile an hour. It gets a little bit frustrating for the audio. But anyway, we'll come back to him in a few moments' time. John Rhino's coming around the final corner, about to finish a lap. Currently in 4th place, just on a 148.556. Now, I don't want to curse him too much, but John Rhinos has spent a lot of this season just trying to improve his racecraft, his race pace, his setups, and I think over the course of the season, we've been able to tell that it has been improving. Unfortunately for him, he's been involved in quite a number of first lap collisions, but he's had a fantastic rhythm and line through that sector 1. It's only a 28.6, so perhaps got the engine turned down or still on standard, while others may have it turned up. But yeah, looking very very comfortable and smooth, and that's what John has had to kind of work on to try and improve his pace. Down the second DRS straight, although DRS I doubt will be available at this time. I don't, let's see, we'll change camera. Yep, DRS not available. We'll see how he gets on at the end of sector 2, which will be coming up after this left hand corner.
I think I'm getting stereotyped on these comments.
This might be a good job
about alcohol.
I don't know what they mean. Putting Scottish people and alcohol together, that is definite stereotyping. Ray, what are you drinking?
Tea.
You see, there you go. There you go. Good old Scottish tea. Or is that short for Tennant Super?
Not the super, that's too strong for me.
Oh, it does taste a little bit like lobster's urine, doesn't it? Okay, John Rhinos. Oh, he's had his lap invalidated. He's tried to go back into the pits and only just manages to do it. And that is something that the drivers will have to keep an eye on, you know. RDB's gone and put himself in 2nd place, by the way.
Throw exotic. No, that's not on.
Go on, what's
reversing on track to get into the pits.
Did he, what was it he did? Did he go past the pit lane and then tried to back up, or was he already around the final corner?
He got near enough to the final corner, slammed on the brakes and then put it into reverse, came all the way back while cars are coming round him.
Okay, well, this will be a very, very steep learning curve for him then. I'm now on board with Boran, but yeah, I mean, I was about to mention about the pit lane. It's a very, very tricky pit entry here. If you go in too quick, you can quite easily overshoot it. But yeah, definitely sort of one of the many things we do not want to be seeing drivers doing is driving past the pit lane and then trying to reverse back up to the pits, because in all honesty, in a league race, you'd probably simply get disqualified for that one. That's not an illegal entry, that's just dangerous driving. Now, obviously, we are aware that some of the guys who are involved in these races perhaps do have a little bit to learn. That's what these sessions are for. But at the same time, if we do see drivers doing really, really ridiculous things, they simply won't get another invite. Now, I do know the likes of cool Mr. Ennis, who was not given an invite last week. He did request whether he could join this week, and I didn't respond, to be honest. I have been very, very busy. It was one of those situations for myself where, you know what, I put him on the list. If there'd have been space, I'd have given him an invite and see if he improved his ways. Unfortunately for him, there was no space, and drivers who effectively a little more deserving were able to get in. Boran here though, coming around the final corner, and he's going to cross the line. It's going to be about 148, is it? It's a 149.5. That puts him in 12th place. Okay, who else we got on track? Mr. Hamilton, 44. I said we'd come back to him with his dodgy sounding Renault engine. He's done a sector 1 time of a 27.3, which is fairly damn good, and a sector 2 time of a 42.2, which I also think is fairly good. I'm not sure if it's going to count the lap though, because when I had a look at the sectors, it's not popped up his sector 1 time there, which is a little interesting. But we'll see how he gets on through the final sector. We'll be wanting to go and pop it on at pole position. One more corner to go, and the engine does sound absolutely awful. So around the final corner, can he beat a 1:45? He can. I think he might smash it. He has a 1:44.552. I'm just wondering if the track is drying up a little bit, you know. RMS Maranello, he's back out on track. He's got 3.5 minutes to start a flying lap. See, is there someone we haven't ridden on board with yet? Azamort. He's coming around the final corner. A couple of seconds off sector 1, a second or so off sector 2. But Ray, do you think it might be drying up a little bit out there?
Yeah, I can see that the rain's not as heavy.
Okay, so if it is drying up a little bit, now is the time for the drivers to be out there on track on the intermediate tyres. I tell you what, Ray, have a quick look at the delta times on the tyres. That'll tell you for definite if it is drying up a little bit. Shane JDM looks like he may be out of fuel and on his way into the pits. Will Butler, he's had his lap invalidated. Ahar Danny coming into the final couple of corners. Ton up 43.2 sector 2. See how he gets on through the final corner this time. No invalidation for him there. So across the line he's going to go, and it's a 47.9. That moves him up to 6th place. That guy Myron has retired, so has Pro Exotic J. Okay. Well, let's go.
Still 8 seconds for the option and 11 seconds for the primes.
Okay. RMS Maranello's just gone through sector 1. It's only a 27.5 though, so he's 0.2 off Mr. Hammer 44's sector 1 time. So what, Ray, keep an eye on Mr. Hammer 44, see if he's going for another flying lap.
He's in the pits.
He's in the pits, okay. Let's see, that would be RDB and Lefty Hardtail then will be 2 to keep an eye on. RMS Maranello, let's say 27.5 sector 1. He'll be looking for something in the 42s for sector 2. Tricky, horrible section we're into here now. Sector 2 time pops up. It's a 42.7. He's ran wide. That's it. Lap over. He's got enough time to start another flying lap. No, it's not lap over. Lucky man.
Still good.
Yeah, maybe it was just a visual effect that we mentioned about. So into now the long triple apex right-hander, a very or quadruple apex nearly right-hander, and a blind apex of the penultimate corner, nicely around there. One more corner to go. I'm not sure if he's going to steal pole position here. I think he may improve on his own lap time. 45.4, I think he did. Yes, he did. He improved on his own lap time. Let's see. RDB, he's just come through sector 1 with a 27.8 sector. Lefty Hardtail, though, he's not far off completing a lap. So round the last couple of corners, he's done a 27.8, a 42.8, and his lap's been invalidated. That's that lap over. He's got enough time to start a new one, though.
Yeah, I've got a question for yourself from 10th here. Can you do America backwards on Wednesday since you like it so much?
No problem, Temp. I'll still win. I tell you what, I would love though if I know like with the F1 games, Temp's asking questions on purpose to get me ranting. Don't you start, boy. Don't you start. I know on like PS3, PS2 games like Gran Turismo, stuff like that, you'd have the choice of racing the track in the opposite direction. Now I know that the F1 games are supposed to be sort of very realistic or serious. It's meant they want it as exact to the real thing as possible regarding the rules and how you drive around the track. But it would be fantastic if you could choose to drive or race it the wrong way. I mean, I'm trying to think, it must have been F1 2013 that I did a series of videos where I did laps the wrong way round on every single track on the game, the current tracks, the classic tracks, all of them, and some of them are absolutely amazing. I mean, Monaco the wrong way, it's awesome. It is an awesome track the wrong way round. Some of them are absolutely awful, to be fair, but yeah. Anyway, let's see, I'm having a quick look at Drew here. We've got a few cars going through the final sector. We now can't see sector times, but we may be able to see if people's positions improve.
Where?
it is looking very well, unless it's just the camera angle that we've got now that does make it seem a lot wetter. Drew has popped himself up to 8th. Will Butler's popped himself up to 9th. And it's not going to let us view anybody else. So Mr. Hamilton 44 does take pole position, a whole 7/10 of a second ahead of RDB, who is only a 10th ahead of RMS Maranello. Lefty Hardtail in 4th, F1 Roadrunner 5th, John 94 Rhinos in 6th. He's really sticking it middle of the pack now, showing the improvements that he has been making. A Hard Danny in 7th, Drew in 8th, Will Butler 9th, Azamort 10th, Shane in 11th, Boran in 12th, That Guy Myron in 13th, Pro Exotic J in 14th. And what I would say to all of the drivers now is, be cautious in the opening laps. I know you won't be, and we're going to see loads of crashing, but this is a time to be cautious. I mean, for the likes of those guys at the back of the field, if pole position man can break at 100 metre marker board for turn 1 at the start of the race, you've got to add on another metre or 2 for every car ahead of you. So that's effectively another 13 metres extra early that you have to break. It's a beautiful sunny day. I can't quite feel the sunlight on my arms though. It is getting a little bit nippy here. I might have to turn the heating on. And I tell you what, I would not want to be at the top of that tower. When you suffer with vertigo, the last place you want to be is at the top of a tower. I say that, actually, I watched a video earlier, Ray, you were like this. Somewhere in like Japan or China, they've kind of made a glass bridge that goes all the way around a cliff face. And people were having to be dragged along it because they'd started going on it and passing out and like crawling on the floor, and they wouldn't move and they were clinging onto the rocks and they wouldn't let go. So people were literally having to physically drag them all the way to the other end by their feet. It was quite amusing. Anyway, we've got 15 seconds to go. Beautiful sunny weather now for the race. So Ray, any kind of predictions to go on here?
I think our RMS Maranello might get in there.
I think he... Well,
first place.
Well, I think he might fancy himself as a potential winner here, but we're on 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Time to go racing. So we'll let the guys make their way off up to turn 1, and by the time we get there, we'll see how many cars are facing the wrong direction. Oh, it's very busy in the middle of the pack. Yeah, there we go. 3 or 4 facing the wrong direction now. But the leading pack have managed to get through unscathed. So let's see who is leading the race. Well, RMS Maranello, he's been dropped down to 4th place. I think Lefty Hardtail, he's managed to jump his way all the way into the lead with RDB in 2nd place. Mr. Hamilton 44 and RMS Maranello sort of battling it out side by side as they make their way down to the hairpin, with a Hard Danny following them. And looks like we've got a Williams behind them, so that'll either be John Rhinos 94 or could be Azamort. But yeah, so Ray, if you keep an eye on... Oh, I think we've got big crashes going on at the back. I don't know exactly who was involved there.
I'm watching it.
It looks
I'm watching my pal.
You're keeping an eye on an exotic driver. Someone's just moved across, collected the other Lotus. I think that'll be that might be Pro Exotic on Boran, or Boran on Will Butler. I'm not sure, but yeah, a little bit bumpy there.
And Pro Exotic in the Lotus this week.
Yeah, you're right, because Will Butler, who usually drives the Lotus, is in fact in a Red Bull. John Rhinos is down in 9th place, but something to keep an eye on here, Ray, is going to be the tyre compounds. We've got yellow soft tyres and the white marked prime tyres, and at least 2 drivers are on the prime tyre for the start of this race. And it's one of those situations as well where if you start on the prime tyre, you've kind of got to be aware that you are going to be slow. I tell you what, Lefty Hardtail, he's opening up a gap out in front. Oh, just seen a collision in the background. Mr. Hamilton 44 and RMS Maranello coming together in turn 7, I think it is. Not a particularly great situation that for RMS Maranello. He's now facing the wrong direction. Got a bit of work to do, and he'll be hoping that he doesn't end up in the middle of that pack of fighting cars. He's come out, he's recovered behind John Rhinos, who's on the prime tyre. And having said that, RMS Maranello is also on the prime tyre. He's now going for the move up the inside on Mr. Rhinos. He's not quite extinct yet, but if hunters have their way, it won't be too long until I'm sure they are. A nice move done there if you can hold the position, but John Rhinos, half a chance to fight back. Can't quite keep going there. Oh, Drew, I've just gone on board with Drew. He snuck up the inside of John Rhinos. Oh, nearly ended up in contact there, but they're all getting very, very racy. Okay, let's see what we've got out in front. RDB, all he can do is watch Lefty Hardtail drive away from him at the moment. Both of them in the Force Indias. I tell you what, Ray, you keep an eye on Lefty Hardtail. Just see how he's driving around the track, as I see if we've got a bit of a battle brewing here. Mr. Hamilton 44, nearly loses it on the exit of turn 1. He's in third place on the prime tyre. A hard Danny, he's on the option tyre, and he's beginning to catch him up. And no, folks, that wasn't Ray trying to speak fluent English. That was his dog. So yeah, Hard Danny into 4th place on options. Azamore in 5th on options. They've got half a chance of catching the leading pack, have these guys. And then we've got Will Butler 6th place on the prime tyre. F1 Roadrunner 7th place. He's on the option tyre. RMS Maranello running the primes. John Rhinos, he's still running the primes. But no, Drew, he's not going to quite make that one work. He's on the option tyre though. DRS will be available to him now, so he may be able to get an overtake done into the hairpin at the end of this straight. Turn 13, I believe it is. No, turn 12. I'll stand corrected. But he's not quite close enough. John Rhinos has got too much straight line speed. He's having a look up the inside. Can he get it stopped in time? No, he can't. It was a risky one, that. I mean, what I'd say to Drew there is, yeah, by all means, go for the move, but you're better off trying to do it closer to the other car, slightly closer to the racing line. You'll have better grip. Now, Shane JDM, he's beginning to catch up these guys. He's running on the option tyre. So while they're fighting, it's going to make it easier for him to close that gap in. Boran in 12th place on the option tyre. That guy Myron, he's off track at the moment, and he's got Pro Exotic J catching him up. Pro Exotic J, I don't know if it is lag or not, but he does seem to be driving on a bit of a different racetrack to everybody else. And I think that may have just ended up in a bit of a collision, and it did, because Pro Exotic J has just disappeared. Okay, Rev, what have you got for us from Lefty Hardtail out at the front here?
He's been driving really, really well. I can't fault him.
So do you reckon perhaps he... I mean, the drivers, there's no part firme on, so the drivers can load a setup. Do you think perhaps he's had a very good dry setup, and perhaps a few of the other drivers are still sat on, say, an intermediate stroke wet setup here?
Yeah, he's had one saved where the rest haven't.
Quite possibly. Now, he is on the option tyre, so is RDB. RDB almost looked like he was struggling a little bit there. And tyre life around here, I mean, the tyres don't last too well, but they should be able to get to at least... RDB going very, very deep. Might be trying to give himself a better exit out of the turn 15, I think it is. So many corners around here, very difficult to keep up with the corner numbers. But yeah, I mean, the tyres should be able to go, I mean, brand new, potentially anywhere to lap 8 or 9. So if they're on the option tyres, they shouldn't be struggling with tyre wear just yet.
Dave, why are you so fast on the wheel? Any tips?
Is that from Jimmy by any chance?
Hammer Time 44.
Yeah, that's from Jimmy. Yeah, it's from Jimmy.
Well, he doesn't tell me his tips. How, Jane, you're going to get any tips?
Well, no, that's not entirely true. I do give out tips, I just don't give out all of them. To be honest, a lot of it is just experience. I mean, in all fairness, it's Hammer Time. He's only just done his first race on a wheel, and he'll have realised that, okay, yeah, you can have one lap pace, but doing it consistently for 30 odd laps, that's the sort of kind of tricky bit to it. So that's where the experience comes in. I mean, I've been racing on a wheel for 4, 5, 6 years, so that's effectively where it comes from. You add a good setup to that, and it makes it a lot easier. I tell you what, 4th and 5th are getting fairly close at the moment. RMS Maranello's managed to get himself up to 6th place, and Will Butler, who's now in 7th, has got Will Butler in 7th has got F1 Roadrunner beginning to catch him up, but I'm fairly sure that Will is on the prime tyre. F1 Roadrunner is on the options. Yes, they are. And RMS Maranello is also on the prime tyre.
What two drivers would you have in the same team with the current drivers in real F1? Roadrunners in the pits.
Yeah, so I spotted that as well. So F1 Roadrunner is the first to stop. So, oh no, he's not. There's another car ahead of him. Was that RMS Maranello? No, it's not. Who was that then? It's RDB. So end of lap 5, he's got rid of his option tyres, puts on a set of prime tyres, could potentially get an undercut on Lefty Hardtail, the leader at the moment. He will have to see how that goes. But it could get a little bit feisty here with 3rd, 4th and 5th place at the moment. Current F1 drivers Boran, his race is over. It won't be a terminal damage crash, that one, because damage is turned off. Current F1 drivers I'd like to see teamed up. Pro Exotic J, he's retired from the session. His race is also over. Ooh. Can I come back to you on that one, Ray?
Yeah, it's just the viewers are asking. I said, any questions for DP, get them in.
Cheers. Okay, I mean, I've got a question for you all in a moment, and you'll hate me for it now, seeing as you're asking me questions. But RMS Maranello, he's all over the back. Sorry, it's all over the back of Azamort at the moment, but can't quite gain enough to try and make a move. Azamort much faster through the quadruple right-hander or triple right-hander than a Hardani ahead of him. But these guys on the options may be going for the pit lane. Azamort is, and so is a Hardani. Both of them just about managed to get into the pits, so that will move RMS Maranello up a position. Lefty Hardtail has also pitted, so where is he going to come out in comparison to the other Force India driver? There's a Mercedes going through. That guy Myron, his race is now over. So Lefty Hardtail coming out now in 4th place, and RDB is just going around the first corner. So they hold position. But the cars ahead of them are all drivers that started on the prime tyre. Shane JDM also leaves the session. His race now over. So yeah, Will Butler 3rd place on the prime tyre. Then we've got RMS Maranello on the prime tyre, and Mr Hamilton 44 on the prime tyre. I tell you what, Ray, keep an eye on what the gap is between the leader and Lefty Hardtail, but you'll have to wait until he gets through the end of Sector 2, because Lefty Hardtail's tyres are brand new, and Mr Hamilton's are fairly worn, and we've seen a lot of the option runners only go to the end of lap 5 or 6, and there's still 7 laps left of this race. Okay, 2 drivers I would like to see paired up. Ooh. You know, I actually kind of like the pairings they've got at the moment. Ooh. You know what? I'd like to see Paul di Resta and Jolyon Palmer. Now I know Paul di Resta's not currently racing, but he is a reserve driver, and I rate Paul di Resta. I think him and Jolyon Palmer in a Formula 1 team could eventually end up being like Alonso and Button are now. So that's my answer. Okay, Will Butler hasn't... Sorry.
Plus 15.
Plus 15 the gap. Okay, Will Butler... Oh, he's got a puncture! He's got a puncture! I'm fairly sure I heard it. I did hear the sound of a puncture. I can't see it yet. It doesn't look like he's got one, actually. I think he's going to find he's going to have one any moment. Usually we hear the noise, and then a few corners later, the driver will experience it. But RMS Maranello, he did pit, so he potentially has pitted at exactly the right time, and just waiting for this tyre to go pop on Will Butler's car. Go on, Will, get it to the pit lane. Get it to the pit lane.
It looks like the front left has gone down.
It could quite possibly be. I mean, I do know that you can get slow punctures in these cars, so we may have heard the initial pop, but for him it's not quite going down all in one go. But I've got a feeling when he goes around the long right-hander, that's when it's going to completely deflate on him. I think he's already struggling. He's already struggling with it. RDB, he's going to try and get past. There we go, there we go. I think, is that it? Is the puncture happened? No, not yet. Will Butler's still trying to fight it. He's not giving up on this one, so even if he can't get to the pits now, though. Oh, he just about manages to get there. Now, RMS Maranello, he's now...
tyre was locking more.
Yeah, so he may have had a slow puncture there. RMS Maranello now on the option tyre. He was just ahead of Will Butler. Mr. Hamilton 44, he's just come out of the pits on the option tyres, just ahead of RDB, who was on the prime tyres. So Mr. Hamilton 44, he's going to want to be ahead as early as possible if he wants any chance of catching the leader. And being on the option tyres, there is half a chance as his car is bouncing all over the curb, showing his suspension could be very stiff. He has managed to sneak through, so he now needs to get on with it, because the gap between himself and the leader, it's not huge, but it is the length of that short straight. So the questions now are going to be, can Mr. Hamilton 44 catch the leader? Can RMS Maranello catch RDB? Azamor, he's now running the prime tyre in 5th place. Ahad Danny, he's in 6th place on the prime tyre, not too far behind him. Will Butler is now on the option tyres and can see 2 cars ahead of him, and he's got the tyres to be able to catch them. F1 Roadrunner, though, is right behind him on a set of prime tyres. He pitted for those quite early. John Rhinos is the short straight behind on a set of option tyres, and then we've got Drew on primes, again not too far behind him. So it all could still change from now to the end of the race. Okay, see, there's been a few quick. Oh, go on. It says
4 seconds. At Ray, are you and Kev going to be teammates next season? I'm not racing, so I don't know.
maybe that was meant to be a question to me.
Yeah, quite possibly, but I thought...
I'm not answering questions. Oh, F1 Roadrunner, his race is over. I don't know if it was a retirement or perhaps a disconnection, but his session is now done. Mr. Hamilton 44, he's pushing hard to try and close this gap in, and it is coming down a little bit. I tell you what, Ray, I'll keep an eye on 2nd to 1st. You keep an eye on 4th to 3rd, and perhaps even try and keep an eye on Will Butler, who's trying to catch up a little bit as well. There's been a few questions coming from the viewers to me, so here's a question from me to the viewers. If you mix the colours red and white together, what colour do you get? That's got Ray thinking. That should be a really easy question, but if Dave's asking it...
I know.
There's going to be some dodginess going on about it, but it's a very, very simple, straightforward question.
You've been to BQ.
I'm applying for a job in their paint section, so I need to know what the name is. I need to know what the name is of the colour you get when you mix red and white together.
Already got a viewer saying pink, but I want to say pink, but I know it's not pink if you're asking it.
Oh, Ray, you finally cottoned it on. If I'm asking it, then yeah, it might not be pink. but then it might be pink. It might just be one of those really, really simple questions. I'll tell you what, Mr. Hamilton, he's got the gap down to 1.8 seconds. Starting on the primes and getting through all of the difficulties is paying off now, being on the option tyre. I mean, with 1.3 seconds gap now, and he's going to close up through every single corner, and 3 laps in this one to go. I think it's going to be fairly frustrating for Lefty Hardtail here, because he did run away with it at the very start, but now Mr. Hamilton 44, I think he's going to be within DRS range, so his rear wing may pop open. He may have the move done by the end of this straight.
1.3 behind.
He was
closer now, but the DRS wasn't.
No, his DRS was open. He did open it. I think he was 1.3 behind the sector, but by the time they got to the DRS detection, he was within the second. He's going for the move now, up the inside. Lefty Hardtail taking a very wide entry to try and get a decent exit. It's not worked though, so Mr. Hamilton 44 now into the lead. He'll be open to try and break the DRS instantly and get ahead so that Lefty Hardtail cannot attack back. Now, RMS Maranello, is he catching up on RDB, fourth on third place there, Ren?
RS Maranello, 7.3 seconds behind he's 3 seconds behind the RDB.
Okay, so that gap is coming down then.
Well, Butler's just taking first place. Oh, I just clicked onto that at the wrong time, just as he done it.
Well, Will Buller's the other one that's on the option tyres for the end of the race, so he's just managed to get ahead of Azamore, but Azamore will potentially have DRS here, but once they get through Sector 1, the gap should be big enough for Will Butler to not be attacked with DRS.
RS Maranello's right up behind RDB.
So, I mean, he's pulled that gap in, all in that Sector 1. It could be that RDB's had a bit of a mare of a corner somewhere, but on the fresher option tyres, it's I would say it's like taking candy from a baby, but it's really not easy to take candy from a baby. I mean, if you ever tried doing that, they scream. They really do scream.
I'm not that cruel.
Well, I've got nieces and nephews. I am that cruel. Here's a bag of sweets. I'll have them back, thank you. But here we go then, RMS Maranello making the move up the inside into turn 12. Nice driving from the both of them. RDB giving plenty of room, which now allows him the inside line of the next corner. It's getting very, very close, but the grippier option tyres allowing RMS Maranello to get ahead. So the option tyre runners are getting the benefits of it now, having suffered with the lack of grip on the prime tyres earlier on. I'll tell you what though, a hard Danny, I think he may also be closing in a little bit on the back of Azamore here. Azza is running the prime tyre, but he's got to be a little bit careful of the cars behind him. John Rhinos, I think the gap's too big for him to close that up, even though he is on the option tyre, and Drew's still running the primes. But Mr. Hamilton 44 has got this and one more lap to go, and apologies for the dodgy camera work. But it'd be nice if when you click from one driver to another, it did just stay on the broadcast view. Okay, let's see. RMS Maranello is too far behind the leader, I think, to try and even catch second place. And you can tell that he's not been on these tyres for very long, but the front right tyre is looking fairly worn. So they're taking a little bit of a beating.
Yeah, F1 Roadrunner, he got wiped out at turn 1. I think he was in that collision scene.
I think he may have been. I mean, I managed to just about get on board with a car and get a view of the collision, so I can have a look at that a little bit later on this evening. I mean, when it comes to racing, for all of the drivers, the minimum they want to be able to do is get around the first corner and the first lap without any major dramas. Because at least then they've got half a chance of getting to the end of the race, and it is massively, massively frustrating if you are wiped out in the first corner of the race. And that's one of the reasons why in front row racing there are bigger penalties for causing turn 1 collisions than a collision at any other point. because you are effectively ruining people's races straight away. I'm going to keep an eye on John Rhinos here because although he's in 8th place at the moment, I think he may also have been involved in the collision early on. He'll be disappointed with an 8th place finish, but his qualifying pace around here on the intermediate tyres definitely showed that he has been making improvements. Okay, and I'll give you another chance, Ray, to answer the question. To help me with my new job at B&Q in the paint section, what colour do you get when you mix red and white together?
White is red.
White is red. You know what? That's probably not a bad answer, because the truth is, pink is not a colour. The colour pink does not exist. I know. I'm
going to complain to the education board.
Complain to Stephen Fry. Stephen Fry is my teacher.
You've been watching that QI again?
Oh yeah, I've watched every single episode of QI. I absolutely love it. But yeah, pink does not exist. But having said that, I could have asked an even worse question. I mean, it's when you bring it down to the science of it. Oh, I do apologise. We've missed Mr. Hamilton 44 winning the race. Lefty Hardtail taking second place. Pink, it just grabbed our attention there. RMS Maranello, he's taking third place with RD being fourth. And he's happy with his 4th place finish. Will Butler, he's managed to get himself up to 5th place, running the option tyres at the end, helping him gain a couple of spots towards the end of the race. So if he's still on the manual gears, he's done very well there. Asamoah, he's going to cross the line in 6th place, finishing on the prime tyre. Ahad Danny, 7th place. An improvement from him. Ahad Danny was disqualified last week. This week he's got to the end of the race in 7th place. And in 8th place we have John Rhinos. So he should also be pleased. And then we have Drew. He's had a little bit of a lonely race, but he's done better than anyone that may have got disqualified. So at the end, you watch, he'll go and get disqualified now, won't he? two corners to go. Please don't, Drew. But
I thought he was gone for the third.
I think he's just happy with his result there. A 9th place finish for Drew there in the Sauber. Okay, we'll have a confirmation look at the order there. Apologies, Mr. Hamilton 44, for missing you across the line. I was too busy talking about pink things, or should I say things that are a colour that does not exist. But it is Mr. Hamilton 44 that takes victory here. Actually, no. No, it's not. That's Lefty Hardtail. That's the Force India on the top step of the podium. Mr. Hamilton 44, I believe, was in the Red Bull and he's in 2nd. So in-game penalties have switched the positions around. So yeah, Nico Hulkenberg, Lefty Hardtail, takes the victory. The only driver to complete the race without any penalties. Oh, it was so close between them as well. 1/10 of a second. Quite a few penalties dished out to the drivers there, and not surprising either given the nature of the circuit. Quite a few penalties for those drivers who did not make it to the end of the race. It is showing them all as DNFs. And have a quick look at the old race director. I can flick through this. A lot of warnings, a lot of warnings, a lot of penalties, and a lot of warnings. But we do kind of expect it in the FRR-idays events, because the drivers have to get used to how strict the strict FIA ruling is, so that they can work on it for if they get called up for a reserve drive.
Yeah, and with your question, the Irish Paddy, I don't know his racing name, it's pink, I googled it. I'm going to try and surrey it.
I tell you what, you watch the QI episode that I remember watching, it does not exist. The colour pink does not exist, and it's something to do with the science of pigments. For example,
you know how my name's Ironside and I'm in a wheelchair, I'm going to ask my pal Stephen Hawkins.
You do that. You ask him. He'll probably pass you on to Sheldon Cooper. You might not know who he is, but I do, and a few others will. Yeah, but it's like, for example, the colour black also doesn't exist. I know.
You're watching the wrong programme.
Oh, I tell you what, if I ever ask these questions on a date, I'm going to stay single forever. Anyway, let's. What's your final thoughts on the race there, Ray?
Yeah, like back to racing. Yeah, there was some good racing. There was some bad, as we expect for Fridays. It's here to practice and learn. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for the likes of Pro Exotic, I mean, I would advise him to watch the video of the race, and then yeah, he can see how the other guys are doing it, and try and improve for future events. Okay, let's see. What time have we got? If you've got any questions, folks, get them in quickly, because myself and Ray will be shooting off. Because I need to go and get some milk, and I need to do myself some toast. But also, we've got the Front Row Racing PCF. I think it's round 2 this evening, which will be from 9 o'clock for, I think it's 23 laps around Road America course. So yeah, we're going to have to be getting ready to shoot off that. So if you haven't got any final questions, now is the time to get them in. Ask Ray loads, and then I can bugger off.
I'm just getting that Project Cars written down because I've not looked at anything.
Okay, I can see a few comments coming through. There'll be a few people arguing that pink does exist.
Ben Frank OG front row race, front row. I'll wait to see what he says. No, Alex couldn't race because he was at hospital, and he hopes to be back next week.
Yes, having said that, I'm fairly sure he may have told me about that one. I can't remember. I do remember reading something about that somewhere. But I did mention early on, I'm not quite with it today. So yeah. Right, okay, time to bring this pretty much to an end, unless there's quickly any more comments coming through. So a little bit of information. FRR-idays, the next event will be next Friday, 7:30 p.m. What I will try and do, if I remember, is I will try and put a post up on the Facebook page of the order of invitations for the drivers, so they know, so they know what order to expect invites in. I mean, we have got quite a few drivers that are wanting in at the moment, but obviously we are trying new systems of an order of invitation. Next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be the Front Row Racing PCF, as I previously mentioned. That'll be 9 o'clock this evening. So, cool. What was you laughing at?
No, Ben Frank OG put Front Row Racing. Oh my God. One thing to say about you are, and I put amazing, you put awesome. So, hello Ben. Glad you like it.
Yeah, definitely. We always appreciate the viewers. I mean, in all honesty, we don't broadcast for fame. We don't broadcast to get thousands of viewers. We broadcast because our drivers want to see their races, and we do commentary alongside it. So if other people like sitting there and watching it and enjoy the commentary, enjoy the racing, it just makes it all the more fun for us and yourselves. Okay, definitely time to bring this to an end then, because I do need to nip to the shop and get myself some milk, otherwise I'm having no more coffees today. So thank you very much to all of the drivers for taking part there. Also, thank you to all of the viewers for watching. Feel free to come and join us for the PCF later on this evening. I've been Front Row Racing DP, he's been Front Row Racing Stingray, Ironside, Rachel Brooks, HQI Master, Pink is Real. Thank you very much for joining us, Ray.
No, it's been a pleasure.
Hey, I tell you what, Ray. For next Thursday, I'll let you pick a question of the day. So you got 6 days to come up with a peach of a question of the day.
Okay, I'll make
Okay.
it as complicated as possible.
I'm looking forward to it. Right, thank you very much, folks. We'll see you all again soon.
See you.